Got a 2022 Honda CR-V. Customer came in with a bunch of lights on, and we pulled all the codes. And we have a cylinder 1 Misfire on her. A couple other random codes. We got 54,000 miles on her. Saw a cylinder 1 Misfire. Pulled out the spark plug, and you can see we got a auto light spark plug in there. So 54,000 miles. Definitely not due for spark plugs. The electrode on this spark plug looks to be gonzo, so I'm thinking this is the culprit. Stuck my bore scope in there. See, we got signs of fuel. This does not have direct injection, so the fuel comes from behind the valves. Pretty damn sure that it is a spark issue. So we're gonna swap some plugs and see what happens. I'm assuming the rest are auto light as well. They should be working since there's only a cylinder 1 Misfire. We're gonna peek a gander. Take these bad boys out right quick. Got 2, 3, and 4. Grab the insider ratchet. Okay. That electrode's not looking too good either. Auto light. Get this guy out. You're looking all right. Probably flip this guy around so the battery's not in the way. And that guy is looking medium rare. We got 4 auto lights, and they're looking pretty similar. So let's swap 1 and 4 and see what that does for us. A little swappy swap, 1 and 4. Alrighty, so if the Misfire follows the spark plug and goes to cylinder 4, we'll know that it's an issue with this spark plug, and obviously we'll recommend to replace all of them with OEM spark plugs, NGK. NGK all day. If you don't want to go OEM, just stick with NGK. It is the same manufacturer. Auto lights, I've seen nothing but problems lately. I know auto lights have been pretty good in the past, but as far as Hondas are concerned, I would steer clear. So yeah, we'll connect this. And honestly leave out the 10 millis for now and see what's going on here. Start her up. We got the intake plenum taken out, but it should be fine. And this is a saggy boy. See, this is all deformed. And that is from oil. I was looking at that earlier. This AC line is super squishy. So AC charge definitely seems to be low. And we got seepage just everywhere. All over these AC lines, all the way back to the firewall. We got quite the AC leak going on. Looks like it was spraying up at this seal. That's nice. Anyway, start her on up, see how she does. Right, it's a hybrid. All right, we're gonna go into maintenance mode for this. Pay attention to this. Ignition on, hit the brake, gas pedal twice, put it into neutral, gas pedal twice, park, gas pedal twice, maintenance mode. Now she'll start up and continue running. Swoop on over here. I got the AutoFix D1 Pro with the kickstand from Toolcraft Organizers. And we're gonna go into PGMFI here. I feel the Misfire on my knees. Definitely a Misfire going on. Yep. Uh-oh. Cylinder 1. It's 49 Misfires. Interesting. It does not appear to be following the spark plug. Light throttle. Pretty consistent Misfires on cylinder 1 still, with 1 misfire on cylinder 3. Okay, let's swap the coils now and see if it follows the coil. Simple enough. Let's just do 1 and 2. The old 1 and 2 swap-a-rooney for you, bud. Every time you cycle the ignition, it's going to turn off maintenance mode, so we're going to have to do it again. Ignition on, brake, gas pedal twice, neutral, gas pedal twice, park, gas pedal twice, and now we can start her up. Got 13 misfires already on cylinder 1. Okay, let's mess around with this a little bit here. Change the load around. And we got a misfire. 1 more miss on cylinder 3. And cylinder 1 still has some intermittent misfires. So, it's not following the spark plug or the coil. And we might have an internal issue here, bud. So letting off the throttle, it seems to misfire a little bit. If I give it some load, got 1 misfire, staying pretty steady, and I let off. And we got some misfires going back down to idle. Okay, well, I'm surely gonna recommend spark plugs regardless, because those auto lights give nothing but problems. Let's go ahead and pressure test the cooling system and see what we got going on in the cylinder. Might have a little bit of a head gasket leak, and this is the non-direct injection 2-liter hybrid non-turbo. So I'll be surprised if I see a head gasket leak, but you never know. 54,000 miles on her. Let's go ahead and, let's give that a moment. All right, let's try this again, shall we? A little bit of a mess there, bud. She is looking pretty full though, so that's good. Grab my pressure test kit. This bad boy right here. So we got 108 kilopascals, which is about 16 psi. So let's crank her down, find your little home, and we're gonna pump her up to 16 psi. It's a little, that's good. It's just over 16. Test long. Articulating bore scope. Yes, I have it linked in my bio. Let's peek this head gasket real quick. Cylinder 1. And you can see head gasket is that thin line right there. So that's looking towards cylinder 2. That's the other side there. That looks pretty dry. Piston looks a little rough. Cylinder 2, this is towards cylinder 1. That looks dry. And towards cylinder 3, it's looking pretty dry. This flipper, oh yeah, bud. Not seeing any coolant in cylinder 1 or cylinder 2. Cylinder 3. Looking towards cylinder 2. That looks bone dry. And that looks bone dry. Yeah. Okay. It's looking pretty good. Wouldn't necessarily suspect a head gasket on this with the low miles, and it's not the turbo 1.5, so that's dry. And that is extremely dry. Okay. Head gasket's looking good. No? We've dropped about 1 PSI. That might be my tool. Huh. Alright. Interesting. Well, I still don't really trust these Autolite spark plugs. I might have some spare NGKs. Got some Sparky boys. We do. We got some NGKs right here. Even though they are used, you can see the electrode on them is actually intact. If you look at these Autolites, the actual electrode tip seems to be non-existent. So yeah, it's quite a big gap difference here. Let's try these. Try some proper spark plugs in ya, bud. That might be what's going on here. Some hand-me-down plugs for you, bud. Just to test. We might have some weak plugs, boys. Alright, we got some NGK in there all day. Some coils back in there. If this does not solve the misfire issue, I might be swapping injectors, but I just don't see that being the issue versus the good old Autolites. So let's see. Could it be that easy? Ah, damn it. Maintenance mode. Pay attention, people. Ignition on. Brake. Gas pedal twice. Neutral. Gas pedal twice. Park. Gas pedal twice. And now she'll run. Two misfires. That's better. Pretty acceptable on first startup. Alright, so I've been messing with this for a little bit, cycling the ignition and running the car. And I just started it again. See, we got no misfires at idle. Rev it up. It was misfiring on the D cell after revving up, close to idle. And we are no longer misfiring. So I definitely wanted to misfire a little bit on cylinder 1 still, but after a few ignition cycles, it seemed to have settled down and gone away. So yeah, rev her up real nice here. Let it idle down. Yeah. Zeros all across the board. Nothing. We got no more misfires, bud. Look at that. So it's important to check and double check things, especially when you're testing stuff, because it just takes one mistake to start going down the wrong alley and misdiagnosing stuff. So Autolite spark plugs, trash. As soon as I pulled that out, I knew that it could likely be the spark plugs. That does seem to be the case. Real nice one. Almost made me think it was a head gasket issue there, but no. Some good old Autolite spark plugs. The electrodes on these spark plugs are just completely gone. None of them are looking too good. Pretty consistent misfire with the Autolite spark plugs. No idea why those spark plugs are in this vehicle to begin with. I'm assuming maybe it had some type of misfire, but there's no information that I have. All I know is I see Autolite and they're misfiring, and I put some used NGK Sparky boys in there, and she's running like a gem. There we go. I'm gonna start with some OEM spark plugs, and then of course I'll run the car again and make sure everything looks good. But what I'm seeing right now, after cycling the ignition, letting her run and figure herself out, she's liking the NGKs. She's liking them. That's a Diag. Stop buying shitty Autolite spark plugs. pick up this AutoFix D1 Pro kickstand from Toolcraft Organizers. Link is in my bio. He also makes one for the D1 Lite and the D1 Pro. Peek a gander at that. The VCI also has a magneto diaper that attaches to the back of the kickstand. So, I mean, come on. Toolcraft, check them out. Also, can't forget about the Teslong articulating borescope. This one is the 0.33 inch diameter version. Use this all the time, absolutely beautiful. Got a bunch of them linked all up in my bio for you, bud. We like that. Simba.